what is up? Thanks so much for tuning in. I am Deborah with Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is my YouTube, Purusha Intuitive. So happy New Year's, guys. This is our first astrology reading for the new year. Whoop, whoop. I hope you guys had a great holiday. Hope everything is moving well and fluid, even though we are in the midst of a Mercury retrograde. So anytime this happens, Mercury deals with our day-to-day communication, people that are in our close environment, etc. And it kind of brings to the surface things that aren't really being or haven't been dealt with. So just be mindful. There's a lot shifting, especially when it comes to relationships, close, intimate relationships around us, in our environment, etc. We've been seeing this if you've been following the weekly tarot readings, as just kind of a collective shift. What I've seen with this Mercury in retrograde is it's definitely forcing us to look at the people that we've been dealing with, how they're showing up for us, whether they're supporting, loving us, being good friends, good lovers, etc. Or if they're not, it's going to force us to kind of like hash out those differences. So much of this is about aligning with what we authentically want, right? We don't want to deal with shitty people. No one wants to. And yeah, we can give people the benefit of the doubt until we're blue in the face. But at the end of the day, if they're not showing up how it honors your heart, your spirit, etc., then it really is time to reevaluate. And that's what this Mercury in retrograde is really forcing us to do, specifically when it comes, like I said, to those closer relationships in our life. So this reading is going to be the astrology for the week, the 2nd through the 8th. So yeah, like I said, main thing is Mercury in retrograde. We're also going to come into a full moon. So this full moon is in Cancer, depending on where you're located. It's going to be on January 6th at a little bit after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So depending on where you are will dictate what time that full moon happens. But like I said, it's in Cancer, and I will work to upload a video around that specific astrology, just so we don't take too much time with that, because they can get a little lengthy, and I'm sure you just love hearing me talk, right? So joking, not joking, right? We start this year off with Mercury being sextile to Neptune. So that really talks about there being a harmonious component with our intuition. I like this for us because it will make sensing things out way easier. So just like I talked about, places that maybe people aren't showing up for you, aren't being a good friend, a good partner, etc., this stuff is going to come to the surface. Even if they're saying certain things, trying to kind of appease the ego, you are going to either see firsthand, or you'll get these little intuitive insights that's actually truthful and honest about what the situation is, what is truly happening underneath the surface. Neptune is connected with our intuition, our spirituality, also the illusions that can be present in life. But with that harmonious component to Mercury, it really talks about it actually being a strength for us, especially as we're navigating things that maybe, we need to close up from last year, things that we need to wrap up, I guess I should say, things that, maybe we're having a hard time figuring out exactly what it is. That Neptune energy, that intuitive energy, is really going to show us what we need to see. So that's pretty awesome, right? Let me look at, so current energy, unfortunately, and this actually, again, just confirms what I've been saying. So Black Moon Lilith is in opposition to Pluto, to Venus, which are right now on top of each other. So Venus and Pluto are conjunct, which basically means that those energies are going to be amplified from one another. Pluto is death and rebirth. It is Lord of the underworld, kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of our shadow side, places that we have to transform ourselves and birth new ways of being, habits, patterns, etc. Venus is that love energy. It's also how we beautify ourselves, though, how we beautify our own self, our environment, what makes us feel like good, you know, and nurtured and loved and supported. And so with Pluto and Venus on top of each other, it is going to be shifting that dynamic. And Black Moon Lilith really speaks to, she's kind of like the one that dangles the carrot, right? So in my opinion, it's like we learn certain lessons. Oftentimes when we are closing chapters on relationships, people, places, things, etc., Black Moon Lilith will come in and say, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you're going to step away? You know, kind of challenging us in a way, and in a way that is very enticing. You know, she will give you what you think you want or what feels good, especially with her being in Cancer right now. She's on the Cancer Leo cusp. So I see this as, if we continue to maintain our boundaries around what goals we've set into place, what we're kind of going after, as she moves into that Leo energy, it is going to be overcoming, you know, some of those, it's kind of like security blankets, those places that like we feel really safe, but almost too comfortable, you know, especially when it comes to what we've been dealing with, like past energies, old habits, patterns, old ways of doing things. That's also being challenged for us right now. This makes a lot of sense. Obviously, we're in the new year. So anytime we kind of shift, you know, or a new beginning start, or, you know, it's like, it reminds me of like New Year's resolutions. We reflect on what doesn't work or what we kind of want to bring into our life, etc. And we really want to be more cognizant of that, especially as it relates to our goals, our desires. The sun is in Capricorn right now. Happy birthday to everybody. If it's your birthday today or this week, I hope you're having lots of celebration, just feeling honored and loved for the person that you are, Capricorn. This is a really strong energy to have. Capricorn is strength. It is endurance. It has the ability to shoulder a lot of burden. So this to me talks a lot about collectively our need to kind of dig deep right now. It's a very grounding energy, grounding force. It's earth energy. So it gives us the ability to kind of really hunker down and push through any challenges or obstacles we might have been coming into contact with lately. So the main point, like I said, it really is that kind of learning our lessons, what we're growing through, the way that it's affecting how we're moving forward and what we're bringing with us as well. So currently, like I said, Mercury's in retrograde. Mars is also still in retrograde in Gemini. So that's going to bring up a lot of duality, especially around the places that we are setting those goals that we're trying to achieve or make things happen. We got to be really mindful that we don't force the issue. You know, Mars energy can be a little arrogant, thinking that, you know, we know it all type thing. Spirit's really asking for patience within this. If something is not working, if it is not moving in a fluid way, then maybe take a step back and really look and see like, well, why isn't it? Or maybe I need to be patient, or maybe I need to see this from a different perspective, right? That's what that duality is all about. It's also that value of just recognizing that life is really dualistic, right? We might think, fantasize about a person, place, or thing representing themselves in a certain way, where we might find out it's really not that way. It's really not what they say or how they're showing up, what they're saying about themselves versus who they actually are, etc. So just be really cautious of that energy, especially with Mercury in retrograde, because sometimes it can make communication really confusing. I'm sure you see it with your technology. This is that time of year. Anytime Mercury goes into retrograde, we can have different trip ups with our technologies, videos not uploading if you're a YouTuber, or like social media, anything like that, miscommunications, etc. So be really mindful of that. Make sure that if obviously I wouldn't encourage making any important decisions right now. You really want to wait until the end of Mercury retrograde, which will be January 18th. So it's not too long, just a couple weeks to sit on it. That's going to bring you a lot more clarity, because there is a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction to, I feel like this is, I guess it depends how it shows up in your personal chart. But Uranus is also in retrograde. So Uranus is that energy of the revolutionary, kind of rebellion, fighting for the little person type vibe. And with it in Taurus, this can almost be like, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it really depends how it shows up in your chart personally. It can be one of two things. It can be you are rebelling against what you feel like you should be doing or you're supposed to be doing, not seeing it in full circle before you make those decisions. That would confirm that Mars energy I was just talking about. It can also be like rejecting what you do have, what is good in front of you. So really be mindful. Like I said, that Black Moon Lilith energy is going to kind of try to lure you in, making things look prettier or more enticing than what they actually are. And with Saturn in Aquarius, that is like, okay, so Uranus actually rules Aquarius. And Saturn is our celestial taskmaster. So where we learn all of our life lessons. It's not an easy planet to deal with. It's not an easy energy because it's like the value of learning lessons. Life is life. We all learn and grow through our experiences, etc. And so this energy really talks about, be careful, who you trust. People who are like trying to be your friends, who might not have the best intentions in mind. This is also places where you do feel like rebelling, where you do feel like saying F you or damn the man, that type of vibe. Be really mindful about that, because I feel like, with the fortune point in Pisces, especially at the beginning of the week, this is really talking about us being able to connect with that energy of what we desire, what we want to see come through. So as it moves along, it's going to align with Saturn. And when that happens, that again is that confirmation of it challenging us, saying, okay, you want this thing, but you got to do the work for it, right? There's a natural order in life. Yes, manifestation, we can manifest as quickly as we want, but there still is a quote unquote formula. There is still a natural order that things have to follow suit with. And so we have to make sure that we're actually ready to seize or take on what we say we want, right? We can ask for things until we're blue in the face, But if we're not ready, if we're not prepared, then we're not going to treat that gift, that manifestation, with the highest and best energy. So a lot of this is, like I said, it's actually stuff that's forcing us to heal, to grow, to evolve. With Chiron, however you pronounce it, in Aries, it's positively aspected to our vertex point. So vertex is the things that are coming to head regardless. You know, it's part of our karma in regards to like certain things, certain soul lessons that we have signed up to learn before we incarnated, right? And it's in Sagittarius, which I love that energy because it talks about this desire to grow and expand beyond what has been limiting us. And the more that we do that, the more we tap into ourself, into our desires, what really resonates with who we authentically are, the more that energy is actually going to heal and align us with what we're working towards. So be mindful because it's not going to feel as comfortable. Or I shouldn't even say that, but it's like, it's not going to look exactly how we want it to. It might be a little bit of some friction on our ego, especially when the moon becomes in conjunct with Mars. So our feelings around how we want things to look, right? The goals, the way things come in, the way it manifests, etc. It's gonna feel like a little bit of a ego. No, I was gonna say ego boost, but I mean the opposite way. It's gonna actually, you know, kind of. Why can't I think of the word? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just gonna be a little bit of a bruising. There we go, bruising to our ego. So, you know, when we let go of the need of how we want things to look, that is going to be what helps things move a little bit more fluidly. So as the week moves on, like I said, it's kind of those same consistent lessons. Most of our planetary is in Aquarius and Capricorn. So a lot of putting in the hard work, being creative with the way that we, you know, kind of navigate the challenges and obstacles that come into place, looking outside of the box, not necessarily reverting back to old habits and patterns, etc. That's what's going to make us more successful, and it's actually going to help us align a lot better with what we desire. As the week moves on, as we become closer to that full moon energy, full moon is all about manifesting, right? So it's when we see our manifestations come in, or we see kind of what we've been able to manifest and the places that maybe we need to refine a little bit or readjust our goals. So the fortune point is actually going to come into conjunct with Venus energy, and that really is a blessing. So if we are learning the lessons that Saturn brought to us, if we're actually being aware, mindful, cognizant of those things, we're going to see the fruits of our labor, you know, and you probably will get a little gift, a little reward as we move towards the full moon, especially if you've been doing the work, you know. Easier said than done. I know it's not, you know, it's hard, right? Like, because it really means that we have to kind of step outside of our own ego and evaluate from more of a topical perspective. And a lot of it is playing off of our emotions, our feelings, especially like I said, with that full moon in Cancer. It's not completely conjunct with Black Moon Lilith, but those energies are going to play off of each other a little bit. Like I said, be really mindful about who you let in to your close circle, or any kind of dealings that you might be having with someone. if it's too good to be true, then it's too good to be true. And there's going to be a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction to gravitate towards things of that nature, right? Things that make you feel like that ego boost, you know, I can use it now, right? I can use that word now. Things, yeah, that just, you know, kind of gratify your ego a little bit, that make you feel comforted, that make you feel nurtured, you know, but make sure, like I said, that you vet whomever or whatever you're dealing with. The nice thing about the full moon is it will actually align the sun and Mercury. So this is going to give us a lot of clarity, a lot of insight into how that Mercury energy is showing up for ourselves, right, as individuals. Like I said, this is a collective reading. It's the topical energy. You will see this manifest in your own life. It's just depending on where your house placements are will kind of dictate, you know, where this is happening for you. I do personal readings. I love astrology. I love connecting with people. So if you're interested, definitely reach out. Check out what services I offer. It's all in the description box. So yeah, and then I guess just to wrap up, that kind of covers it. With, like I said, so that full moon, we're going to get a lot of clarity around that Mercury energy. And then after that, Mercury and your fortune point align. So that's like I said, if you're doing the work, if you're learning your lessons, if you're seeing what you need to be seeing, then Spirit is going to give you that gift, that reward, and really honor you. And then it's interesting because as we move towards the 8th, things start to kind of release. You'll feel that. That's really natural after the full moon. When we are in the waning cycle, that is releasing, letting go, things that don't serve us, etc. And so you're going to feel that release of tension. Yeah, there might be a little bit of some ego stuff that you're dealing with, playing with, but the way that the transits are playing out is it's actually working a little bit more favorable, in harmony with what goals we had set forth. So I hope this helps, guys. Thanks so much for listening. I really appreciate you. Definitely make sure to like, share, subscribe. Check out the other content. I drop videos daily, readings, astrology readings, health and wellness content. I would love just any comments, any feedback, connecting, etc. So drop comments below. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time. Lots of love and light.